What's up on this Monday night, guys? House of Orange TV coming at you. What do we want to talk about tonight? I think we got plenty to talk about on here. QB1 is official. I think we knew where that was going for a while. At least we seem to think that it was. And there's some stuff I want to look at. There's if you've seen the quarterback film guy, Brooks Austin, he had some pretty interesting video out today where he looked at some of the Tennessee-Ohio State game last year. And this is going to come back to something that's been a problem for 2 years. And he brings up some interesting points. And I'm going to look at that here in just a few minutes. Let's see, we're going to talk recruiting. We'll talk recruiting with Savion Hyder, the announcement coming for him tomorrow. With the quarterback one announcement, does it change expectations along the way? And then there's some stuff out here as well about some possible extensions for Josh Heupel on staff. So we'll talk a few different things on this tonight and go from there. But appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Make sure you hit the like, the share. If you're a listener and you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. This thing is up to, where am I at? I keep forgetting, 45-38, man. Really proud of that. Really proud of it. But, it's not possible without you guys supporting it. So thank you so much for supporting us along the way. Joey Aguilar, QB number 1. I didn't see how it was broke. Somebody put in the comments UT released it on their social media. I cannot say I've seen that happen before. Normally the coach will announce it, or you'll see it across ESPN like I saw it earlier with Ohio State. But I think Ryan Day had mentioned that. Somebody put, David Speaks put, Steve Angeli is Syracuse quarterback. But yeah, I agree. It felt like that was inevitable as well. But, 2 teams, 2 quarterbacks, we know where it's going in 2 weeks when they go to Atlanta. So we'll talk a little bit of Syracuse tonight, and we'll get in that one along the way. What's up, Carlos? Good to see you in here. He says, go Rocky Top. David Speaks. I don't think Brazel will be a big contributor this season. And there comes the cat across the screen. So, man, he's going to have to get himself healthy. He is, because I've said it on here for a couple weeks that Randy says Brazel will be fine. If he gets healthy, he will. My thing of it is, man, if he doesn't get right, though, I think he could get past. But we'll kind of see on some things. And, we'll come back to wide receiver a little bit. I do want to, again, look at that video here in just a minute when we get some more of you in here. And probably a lot of you have seen it already if you follow on social media. But, yeah, and this is part of what I want to talk about. This is a good point right here. Joey Aguilar is the quarterback until he ain't. I think it's his job. And hopefully nothing injury-wise happens. I think he'll do fine. I don't know. I'm excited about him as well. Speaking of Hyder, Randy Payne says, who thinks Hyder's coming to Tennessee? We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. What's up, Kyle Beach? Good to see you in here. David Burgess, what's up, man? Good to see you in here as well. So let's kind of get into this. Say Joey Aguilar, quarterback number 1. It was put out last night. I've read numerous articles on this today. There was one on The Athletic. I didn't see the date on it because but, just his journey and where he's gone. He played. He didn't have any offers. He went to JUCO a couple years. He was a result of the Pavia ruling where he would have been out eligibility last year. He explored it from California. He went back home, thought it was his job. Obviously, everything happened with Nico. And he said his first instinct was he wasn't afraid. He was going to stick around and try to fight for the job. But I think his camp, talked about his quarterback coach, his family knows around, and said, you might want to explore options on it. And it said when they tried to have conversations with Deshaun Foster, Tino Sinceri, UCLA's offensive coordinator, that said they weren't really they didn't get a lot out of it. So I think they made the right decision. He either could be a guy who hits the jackpot here. Because if he comes to Tennessee, has a big year, helps lead them maybe to the playoffs or so, 10 wins, playoffs, gets his draft stock up, man, big-time move for him. And he's going to have a lot more talent around him at Tennessee than he would have had at UCLA. That's just a fact of the matter on it. But, man, it's as we go along the way, I want to look at this here that I keep talking about. Let me see if I can get it shared up here. Pretty interesting video. And it's just a clip of it's about a 30-minute video because Brooks Austin, the quarterback guy, is on the YouTube channel. He talks about really doesn't matter who Tennessee's quarterback is. He thinks the run game and their parts around it are good enough to win. But let me pull up here just a minute. All right, I'm going to pull this up. Let me get it back to see if I can get his sound on here.
We got to square in on the front side, Jonathan.
All right, so we see this formation here. So at this point in the game, if I'm not mistaken, it was 21-10. Coming out of the half, Tennessee had a chance to cut it. So look at this, and then let's talk about how many times did this happen over the last few years here. So let's look here as well. And his commentary on this is pretty interesting. I can't remember if he uses any language. He uses some, so just disregard it. I can't cut it out, but
square in on the front side. Here, we got a hitch, and we got a red line go. All right, meaning he's going to get to the inside release, going to get to the back to the top of the numbers, and he's going to run that go. All right, that's what we got. Simple.
So the first read you're going to see here as he comes out of it is going to be up to the top. That far right, that kind of straight and in. That looks like the first read. How many times, though, watch this pattern, did we see this last year? And it makes you wonder. And I know Jordan Moore, Kerry Williams, both who come on here some, have said when they've been at games, and some of you guys may have been at them too, there's guys running open all night and just not being seen. So, and that's been the last 2 years, actually.
Three-man concept. It's really two reads. You don't like the front side, get to the back side. That's it. All right, and over here on the backside, Jonathan, we probably got some type of cover two, all right, is what it looks like. It looks like he's going to play this void. He's going to play over the top. He's going to play underneath. That's what we know we have on this side of the field. All right, I'm going to tell you right now, the square end's going to get cooked from jump, and you're going to see it. But this is what frustrated me.
If you haven't seen this yet, take a guess at what we're getting ready to see and where it's going, and then we go from there. All right, so let me get through this. It's not too long.
Every single time I watched Tennessee last year because we got no chance as an offense. Watch this right here. All right, corner feints the blitz. Corner feints the blitz, gets right back up underneath the square end. So right now, at the top of our first drop, we're cooked on that square end. Right, Jonathan? So what are we going to do? We're going to click.
Yeah, if he throws that to the option number one, that's a pick six because you can look, that's covered, and there is nobody in the way of it. Option number two, here in the middle, this dude looks kind of open right now. Look down here on the bottom what's about to happen. And then let's watch how the play unfolds.
Back over to the left side, right? Because we're quarterback. We got one read over here. We don't like it. So let's click back over here. Watch what happens to our lower body. Watch what happens to our platform as a quarterback when we come back to the other side. Watch this right here. Do we have any chance of throwing a football right now? No. What are
two guys open, but yeah, like he says, I mean, that there's no way he can throw that. Option number one was not there, and he panics. But look what's going on. A dart would possibly hit that guy in the middle. Look down here around the 50, though. Now, obviously, that safety's closing, but still right now, with Nico's arm, he could have put that in there. But listen what Brooks says here. It's pretty interesting.
We doing 100% of the time. We are bailing out of this pocket. We're rolling left. Is there a reason to do so? No. Pocket's cleaner than shit. Well, what would happen if we actually read the progression right now? First and foremost, we probably could throw this ball out to the left side shoulder of this guy if we really want to. But guys, the red line's running to grass. The red line's running for 70 right now. It's right there. I watched a ton of App State football last year when we went and studied him. You know who's ripping that football this year?
Joey Aguilar.
And look, it might get picked off one of 6 times. But the other 5, we might damn hit the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, man, it would frustrate me. It's a touchdown.
There you go. Pretty good stuff right there, man. And he's got to be pretty funny to listen to. But, man, he's good. He's good. I've enjoyed watching him. But that at the end fired me up when he says, we know who's ripping off that throw, and that's Joey Aguilar on it. That's something we've not seen for 2 years now. And, I've seen some clips, Pancakes and Bacon, Kyler Kirby, and Reed Bacon were talking about, and they said, we've said for 2 years that it's on the quarterback, not the line, the receiver, that they're taking more of the blame than they should. And it makes sense. And some of you guys in the comments, leave me a comment if you've been at games where you've seen it. I saw him playing Charlotte last year, and I didn't think Nico was too bad. I didn't think he was great, but he wasn't bad, and he missed some throws, no doubt. But I've seen people say it with Joe Milton and Nico last 2 years. There's been a ton of points left on the field there as well. I'll hit some of your comments, you guys. See, we're up to about 50 right now. Pretty good start. Right now, make sure you share this thing out. I really appreciate that, guys. Yeah, some of you said you hadn't heard of him. I've just seen him after the Joey Aguilar commitment that some people shared it out. And that would have been, into April. And I watched some of the video for that, and he showed a lot of stuff with Joey Aguilar. And Joe, I've told you guys this too. Lady I taught with last year, her son-in-law played with him. There was a connection. They loved him. Everybody said he's a baller. He'll play. Will he make mistakes? Yeah, sure. But I think too, you got to look at last year that Joey Aguilar's INT numbers were up. What has he thrown? And correct me if I'm wrong on this. Is it like 23 over the last couple of years? But numbers were up last year in that regard because, look what App State's record. Their coach got fired last year. They're playing from behind. But the dude can rip them off, man. And the fact that Brooks is just dead set there saying, who's going to hit that? He said maybe he gets 1 out of 6 pick. But the big thing is Joey Aguilar, his strength is he can hit that deep ball. And, I'm going to talk adjustment of expectations. I finally put enough, you guys heard me 9-3. I don't know. I get the juices flowing a little bit sometimes, and maybe I adjusted a little bit. We're going to talk about it here as well. But I'd seen something today too. Yeah, see, there was I don't know where the video surfaced from, but this is a good one here where Joey Aguilar he threw a dart to Amari Jefferson, and it was one of those, he put it where only Jefferson could catch it, and I thought in it too, it looked like Jefferson made a really good catch also. And the fact that Jefferson, they've talked about for the last couple of weeks, he's been coming on. Travis Smith Jr. making plays, Mike Matthews making plays. Said Joakim Dotson caught a touchdown from George McIntyre in the scrimmage last week. Your 3 out, Radarius Jackson, Chris Brazel, Braylon Staley. From everything I've read, it says they're hoping all 7 of those guys will be good to go this week. And let's, face it, man, if we get to the season, they're good to go. They've accomplished what they needed to on it. You don't want to lose them in August. All right. This right now, yeah, it's practice. Yes, you're trying to get in sync, but it's not worth, running a guy into the ground right out of the gate. Oh yeah, Joey would definitely be going against tougher defenses here, but at the same time, I would counter. It's a good point, but I would counter too that he's going to have. I think he's going to have better around him. Now this gets to somebody asked here. I'm getting your comments one at a time here. Oh, Eric Smith said, "Who's the starting line?" David Speaks hit that one. Lance Hurd, Wendell Moy Jr. Looks like it's going to be Sam Pendleton at center, Jesse Perry right guard, David Sanders Jr. at right tackle. There are instances, it looks like, where you could go Satterwhite at center, Pendleton at right guard. But, we can kind of start putting to rest the fact that Glenn Ellerby's recruits aren't playing because there's Sanders Jr., he's going to start. And Jesse Perry, the redshirt freshman, was recruited by Tennessee coming in, going to play a big part this year. Sham Umaroff could play. Bennett Warren is starting to come on. They said as a backup tackle. Jeremiah's Hurd. And then you've got more dudes coming next year as well. I'm liking what they're doing with this offensive line group right now. And the one thing that stood out to me was the first practice, and a lot of you guys probably saw the pictures too, that looked like an SEC offensive line. You didn't see 270-pound guys out here. You didn't see, all these guys looked like SEC offensive linemen, and that fired me up as well. I really think this can be a better line this year. But again, your quarterback, how many times have we seen over the years a quarterback can make a line look bad or a quarterback can make a line look good? Hendon Hooker made the line look pretty good. Joshua Dobbs, his sophomore year, who was it? Worley and Peterman was starting, and that line looked pretty rough. Joshua Dobbs all of a sudden gets starting role, and that offensive line looked pretty good at that point. I think the proof's in the pudding sometimes too, especially with the running game. Why is it the passing game's not been there, but the running game has the last few years? So I don't know. I think the line maybe has gotten too much blame on this. I wonder with Joey Halsley, has he gotten too much blame the last couple of years too? Now, has it been perfect? No. But, I'd say at the same time, though, I just think we've had subpar quarterback play. I really do. Man, this would be good. Joey and Dalton connect similar pass. So, could be. You never know on that. What's going on, David? Good to see you in here, man. Kicking game should be pretty solid. I mean, we got both guys back from last year. So, and I mean, we've got our kickoff guy, we've got our punter, we got our kicker all back. So I think it should be pretty good. I seen something this week too, man. This kind of bothered me a little bit when I saw it. Let me find something here just a minute. So, of course, the place kickers, Max Gilbert, redshirt sophomore. Jackson Ross, redshirt junior punter from Australia. Josh Turbyville's the kickoff specialist. He would be the backup, I think, for either in a situation. But I don't remember which game it was last year. Apparently, Gilbert, I think, had a struggle a little bit. And just said that this is where we got to draw the line. That fans or could be people playing as fans were messaging his family and his girlfriend and all these just awful stuff. And it ain't that deep, man. It ain't that deep. It's not like these guys go in trying to miss. Now, it just is what it is. But kicking game should be solid. Return game, kickoff return game is kind of irrelevant anymore because what do you see? A handful of returns per year now. Lucky sometimes they even see one in a game. Punt return to me is the big one. If Boo is suspended, if he's in trial, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Josh Heupel just keeps saying day to day. Then who's back? Is Mike back? I don't know that I would put a receiver back because I just don't think you can risk putting one back. I mean, could a guy like Star Thomas? Seems like he would be ideal with it. Let's see here. Matt SS, what's up, man? Bream has got me fired up. And there's a part of me almost wants to say, and it's probably a little bit of an overreaction, he could be the man this year. And Josh Heupel has talked about he's going to be a big part of the offense. I've speculated on it for a while, and I'm starting to see, not that it was just something with Bream's size, his catching ability, he can block, and some of you mentioned, imagine him in the slot. And I think I finally saw somebody ask some of the VolQuest mods about it, and they said, yeah, you could definitely see Bream split out or go in the slot. I talked about this last night, or maybe it was yesterday. I can't remember which video it was I did yesterday. But, we talked about 12 personnel. They've got 4 strong tight ends here. Bream, Kitzelman, Ethan Davis, Jack Van Dorselaar. I don't know enough about Cole Harrison. They liked him. Maybe he can contribute as well. Could Tennessee pull some shocker of a formation and come out with 4 tight ends? 1 quarterback, 1 running back. You could do so much out of that with their versatility at tight end. I mean, with Brain, with Ethan Davis. I mean, Kitzelman, we saw he was good with it. They've said a lot of good things about Van Dorselaar. I mean, when we saw him in the orange and white game, he looked really good as well. You could do so much with that package. I mean, you could put 2 of your tight ends back in like a blocking formation. I don't know that they will do that or not. But the fact that they've put such an emphasis over these few years of building this tight end room the way they are, I just wonder how much they can do with that, man. I think it would be pretty fascinating. But, yeah, we're starting to see a little bit of talk about that. Brame 6'4", 2. What is he listed at now? Is it 230? Is that right? Let me find it here. I can't remember what his number is. But, I mean, that's pretty accurate with it. Yes, yep, good call. Good call. 6'4", 230. Yeah, with his speed, and they said he has come from a program to where blocking was, it was taught, it was required in it. He wasn't just a pass catcher only. So he'd be such a mismatch on other teams' linebackers. There's no doubt about it. This is going back to the video I put on. I'm trying to get caught up here, guys. Again, appreciate it. We're right at about 75, man. Good crowd. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. But, yeah, I just wonder how many times – I mean, I keep seeing highlights from the Bama game last year. What did Nico miss, 3 or 4 touchdowns in that one? So this is something I wonder. Let's say if you got to the red zone, could you theoretically split out Brain, Ethan Davis, or one of them? The cornerbacks could keep up speed-wise, but, yeah, that size, if you put it in the right place, some corners can't do anything about it. Blunt Vegas, what's up, brother? Good to see you in here, man. Yeah, overthrows have killed us the last 2 years, no doubt about it. And I know you've been at some games too, Blunt, mate. Maybe you've commented. I'm getting down through here as well, but leave me a comment if you've seen some of those wide open guys not being hit either. Yeah, I saw him. I saw him at home too, Haystack, for sure. Let's see. Getting down through here. Let me hit this one. Interesting. I had not heard that. That's a good one right there. That was – I mean, App State played from behind. It felt like a lot last year. So that's a really interesting stat. That's just a guy trying to make things happen with it. And maybe he puts it in harm's way some, but, you got to do what you got to do when you're coming from behind sometimes. Nice. Matt got tickets to the Mississippi State game. They're doing a whiteout. So, yeah, unless Tennessee were to go like with an alternate uniform, I'd say you'll see them on the road in orange. That'd be pretty cool. No, I don't think you'll see Aguilar throw it as much. Well, I mean, it's what are we looking at? Probably around 20, 25 passes per game. I mean, let me pull his numbers last year at App State, and we can get a better gauge of it. Let's see. I want to look at his game by game here. So last year, 3,003 yards, 23 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Let's see. He threw. Oh, wow, man. It's early in the season, the pass attempts were off the charts. As the season went along, they became less and less. But against ETSU, he threw 36 times. He had a pretty good game against them. Clemson, he threw it 41 times. Didn't have too good of a game that day. Of course, they're getting smoked, 66-20. East Carolina, he threw it 47 times. Let me just pull it up. Y'all look at it with me here. Here we go. 21 out of 40 against USA, 26 out of 44, 20 out of 42. I mean, there's some rough games in there, but, I mean, again, you look at it, loss, 5 and 6 on the year. I mean, again, App State made a coaching change. So, and some of these, they just got the crap beat out of them, too. Won a couple decent games here, but overall, it was, yeah, he won't have to throw it 35, 40 times in this offense. I just don't see it. I don't think we'll need that for sure. Yeah, buddy. Bluntwell legend here. Legend my own minds. Oh, I think Aguilar's got plenty of leash. I really do. Now, if he just turns into it's a good question. If he's a turnover machine, maybe he forces the hand. But I think based on what we've seen with Joe Milton and Nico the last 2 years, now different situations. But, I mean, you had Gaston Moore last year. You had Nico and Gaston Moore the year before that. So you could have put somebody in and tried something. But Backwoods, what is up, my man? Good to see you in here. Yeah, I think special teams will be fine without Mike Eckler because they've got Crabtree as the special teams coach, and then they brought in Bonamego, former head coach, real good special teams guy on it. I could see him being better, but Mike Eckler had pretty solid special teams the whole time. I think the one thing I think was a mistake is how they handled the punt return role last year. They tried to be conservative with it, and it really kind of special teams cost them the Arkansas game, among other things. But you had the punt that went over Squirrel White's head forever, and then you had stopped Arkansas, and then had the roughing the kicker, gave him the ball back. They went down and got points. But that was the exception. That was kind of the outlier. So Mike Eckler's special teams were normally really good down there. But I think they can be just as good, if not better, this year with it too. Yeah, I think special teams did take a step back last year, but I don't have any complaints about Mike Eckler. He's a dude that loved it here. Seemed like he coached his hind end off. I thought he did a good job, but oh man, this is a bold one here. I think we get Hyder, Keys, and Gray. We'll talk recruiting here in just a few minutes. I see some Adidas. Trying to get called up here. All right, I think we are caught up. Yeah, it's a good one. How about them Lady Vols soccer beating #1 North Carolina? That was pretty cool, man. All sports, all Vols, all things rolling at Knoxville. It's so cool to watch as well. All right, so we got called up on the comments. Again, thank you guys. We're about 90 now. We'll go, 8:30? We'll go to 9 o'clock on this. Somebody finally had to go back to work today, so got to get back in the groove here as well. Eckler had Ted Lasso vibes. That's a pretty good one. He had some interesting quotes. That is for sure. All right. So I said earlier, I got a little froggy with my prediction. I've said 9-3 the whole time. I've shifted, and I'm going to explain where I'm at now. I went from 9-3 to 11-3. 10-2 regular season. I don't know who we're beating of the three. We're getting one of Georgia, Bama, or Florida. We're going to get one of them. And I don't know which one it'll be. It's like in Lady Vols last year. I said they're getting one of Texas, South Carolina, or LSU, or UConn, I think it was. And it looked pretty bleak. At the end, Lady Vols beat UConn. I'm going out on that same. I don't know which one it's going to be. It's going to be one of them, though. Tennessee's going to get one of them. That's going to give them 10-2. Now, since there's none of this sham ranking this year for the playoffs where a team barely in is all of a sudden top 4 because they were a conference champion, that should put Tennessee in where they would host the game. Probably a favorable matchup. They'll get that one, and then I could see, maybe things going, that being it with it. So I'll go 10-2, 1-1 the playoffs, 11-3. That's a pretty dang good year with it. 9-3 could happen. So if it's a 9-3 regular season, I think that puts us out of the playoffs, unfortunately. But I think it gives us favorable bowl game to go 10-3. I'm shifting though. I don't know who. I don't know which one. One of the three. Georgia, Florida, Bama. Heupel's getting them. Because he's on a trend right now. It's like he's not beating Georgia, obviously. First year he lost to all 3. I don't think any of them were really that competitive. There might have been the Florida game was a debacle. I do remember that because there was, who was it? Hooker hit Jimmy Callaway wide open. Could have still been running, and he dropped it. Was that who it was? Second year beats Alabama, beats Florida. Georgia put it on us pretty good that game. The scoreboard didn't indicate it, but that game wasn't close. In 2022. 23, we lost all 3 of them. Bama was close to half, and then second half was a meltdown. Last year, beat 2 out of the 3. Played Georgia the best we've played them yet. We don't need that trend of every other year you lose to all 3 of them. I think you need to at least get one of them each year. And I'm looking at, I don't know, if I had to pick one, I don't know which one I'd want the most. I would really like to see them get Georgia. I really would, but there's a part of me too wants to see them go finally play the way they should in the swamp and beat Florida as well. But 10-2 is 10-2. It is what it is. So let's see here. You know what? I am honestly, the more we've gone here, not that nervous about the center and the wide receiver. I can see it. I was concerned on the wide receivers, but I think with where the tight end room is and how much they may possibly be used, I think that alleviates some of the concerns for the wide receivers to me. And if we've got a quarterback with vision who can make the throws, who will rip it, as the quarterback dude we were watching earlier said, that'll make up for some of it. But I'm just curious to see with Bream. We've seen those guys over the years that get all the preseason hype and you barely hear from them. Who was it? Quentin Hancock. That was back in 2005, 6, 7, somewhere there. We heard about preseason camp, just Quentin Hancock, wide receiver, dominating, and then you barely see him at all. But Matt SS says it's always Bama. I'd love to go down and beat Alabama. There's no doubt about that. That's just a tough one because you don't want to lose to either of the 3. Let's see. Georgia would be nice to get. I mean, there's not a good choice. There's 3 great choices there. So I'm going to predict they're getting one of them. We're going to get one of them on it. But I mean, I look at this. I've got confidence in Aguilar. I don't know why. I just do. The running back room, Josh Heupel said it's the deepest they've had since they've been in Knoxville. There's talent at wide receiver. It's unproven. Somebody or somebodies will step up. If the tight end room's what we're saying, we got playmakers there. And I've got high hopes on this offensive line. I think it's going to be a much improved offensive line. I think it's going to be better across the board. And, you're not going to have John Campbell gets a penalty, gets beat, and then he's injured for a quarter this year. You'll have other guys out there they've got more depth on that line now as well. Defense, I mean, the David Hobbs injury, don't know how long he's out. Ideally, hopefully he's back by Georgia. But I think they can manage up till then. Once you get into SEC play, you need your main guys healthy with it. Linebacker room, I've talked about it. I think it's a much improved room this year because it was kind of baptism by fire last year once Keenan Pili went out. Edwin Spillman's healthy. I'm excited about seeing him. I think he's a game changer. I'll stick to it with it. The secondary, it's going to be about getting everybody right, getting Jermon McCoy healthy. What's Boo Carter's status here? I mean, is he going to be suspended? What is it? It said he worked with the threes in the scrimmage last week. Josh Heupel said he's day-to-day. He said he's done some good things. So, I mean, is it just a case of he's got to work his way back in? Or is there like an unofficial suspension that we may or may not hear about with it? But, I think once he's in, you got to put him in, though. I really do with it. Colton Hood looks like an underrated pickup. I think Ricky Gibson will be good. Jalen McMurray can do a lot of things as well. The safeties, I mean, that's going to be some prove it. Turrentine has his moments, some. And then you had Caleb Beasley, Edris Farouk. Lots of talent, man. Lots of talent back there. Really is. Rob's Tennessee, what's up, man? For $1.99. Just throws the old tip in the tip bucket, I guess you can say on that. Thank you, man. Really appreciate your generosity. Appreciate you super chatting there as well. Yeah, I'm excited to watch Joey sling the rock. He'll cut that. Yeah. And he says, go Vols, beat those dogs with it. That's the thing with it, with Heupel's quarterbacks. I mean, what's the most? 5? Joe Milton threw 5 in a season. That's pretty good numbers. That's pretty good numbers as far as not turning it over. But my biggest thing I want to see with it, I don't want to see a quarterback that just stands there and holds the ball like we've seen the last 2 years. I want to see a guy who'll get rid of it. And, I just cannot stand it. The times we watched Nico last year stand there and hold it and then get stripped of it. Drives me nuts, man. Do something. Throw the freaking ball away or something with it. But let me see. We go. David says, I like the win over the Dogs in Neyland. Man, that would be a good one. I don't think I think there's even bigger penalties for storming the field now. So hopefully the crowd doesn't storm the field. I can't remember what they are, but it's I think it's pretty significant now, if I'm not mistaken on that. Looking at I talked quarterbacks, talked expectations adjusted. Maybe I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid on it, but I'm liking 10-2, 1-1 in the playoffs, 11-3. I'm gonna stick to that one. That's where I'm going with it. One thing I've seen here recently, VolQuest had an interview with Danny White, last week, and one of the things that kind of come up was about contracts a little bit, and I think it was kind of vague, but it wonders, and VolQuest had an article about it today, wondering if there's not an extension coming for Josh Heupel. And you've got numerous offensive coaches who are on expiring contracts as well. I don't see Heupel making a change at any of his offensive positions, no matter what happens this year. And I look at it too with like Glenn Ellerby, with Kelsey Pope, who are a couple of expiring contracts. Those guys are recruiting big time right now. They are starting to recruit at an elite level with it. And I'm curious to see with the quarterbacks what they look like too. And, what adjustments have been made? What adjustments have been made offensively? I think we'll learn a lot more about Joey Halsley this year as well. But Heupel's not going to make a change there. We know, unless it's just an absolute train wreck, which I don't think it will be. So could we hear something announced on those as well? I think that bears watching. Heupel makes about $9 million. It says his contract goes through 2028. So, and to me, he's earned an extension. He's earned an extension along the way. I still say, yeah, is it all perfect? No. What he's done with Tennessee football since he took over is pretty fascinating, though, because there were people thought the program was dead in the water when he took it over. Over 30 transfers, You had a bunch of clowns roamed the sidelines down there for years, and then Heupel come in, resurrected the program. And, the transfer portal, it giveth, it taketh, but it was around at a good time for Tennessee when we did lose so many. We were able to get some guys in. I mean, Hendon Hooker could be – he was a godsend. I mean, he really was. He did so much for the program. We wonder, was it Hooker? Was it Golish along the way? I think there's a combination of it. But, what would Joey Halsley look like with Hendon Hooker there as well? I think Hooker, he gets a lot of credit. I don't know that he gets enough credit for how good he was when he was here. Definitely, to me, man, I've thought about doing a video ranking the quarterbacks in my lifetime that I remember. I would put Hooker really high up there. I don't know. Obviously, I'd probably go Manning. I was big on Heath Schuler there. I mean, it's hard to go against. I don't know where I would put Hooker, to be honest. I don't think Casey Clausen was as talented as Hooker, but the dude just won, especially on the road. That's hard to overlook. I mean, there were some good quarterbacks there, early 90s, early 2000s. If Tyler Bray had a decent head coach and a decent defense, he would have looked a little better than he was, I think, as well. Dobbs was good. But, man, I felt like the difference for me with Hooker and Dobbs, I felt Dobbs would make those mistakes that were really killers, and I didn't think Hooker did that very often. But, looking at it as well, what Heupel's done, and just year after year, I mean, if a down year 2 years ago was, 9-4? We were begging for 9-win seasons for years. If that's a bad year, I'll take it. 10 wins last year. 9 to 10 should be very achievable this year as well, especially with the schedule. And the trajectory of this program is sky high. Now, one thing, and somebody did mention when I did the trajectory of the program video, was the schedule is going to flip. It's probably going to be a lot harder the next 2 years with it. I think we got a pretty good draw. I don't know exactly how it goes, but you got to think there's a possibility of getting Texas, Texas A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, South Carolina on the schedule, Missouri. None of those, man, are gimmies. None of those are gimmies along the way. So, especially next year, odds are to be breaking in a new starting quarterback. But there will be so much talent here, and they're going to have to keep it. They're going to have to pay to keep it. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Let me see. Let me hit some comments here. $500,000 for storming the field. Okay. All right. I couldn't remember what it was. I knew it was pretty significant. Now, Hooker was the best thing since partying like it was 1999. Gus's Good Time Deli on the Strip. I saw a picture of you there, Blunt Vegas, recently. That's pretty cool. To this day, I've never been there. I hadn't been to Knoxville since 2014. I'm hoping I'll get to make it down this year. I've definitely got to go to Gus's. Everybody talks about it's really good along the way. So pretty cool there. T was good, man. I was looking at some highlights of him this week, and just especially they kind of eased him in to start the year, but then once it started going along, he was a pretty good quarterback, especially at 98 season. He did what he could. I mean, his legs won us some games. It won us the Syracuse game. It got us in the field goal range for Florida, for Jeff Hall to hit the field goal and then win it. There were numerous other games as well. I think that 99 team, I think people look at T based on 99 because it felt like that team underachieved. And I saw Brent Hubbs make the comment on VolQuest, said if opt-outs were a thing back then, said probably most of that 99 team would have opted out. Apparently it just didn't gel that year. But you had what? Al Wilson was gone. Al Wilson was a phenomenal leader down there. I don't know if his leadership, what it was, but it just didn't mesh that year for it. And that was such a loaded team. We'll have to see where it's at. Let's talk. I think we've hit everything on the team here. One hit recruiting. Big week, potentially, for Tennessee. Big week, potentially, for Tennessee. The big three on the board right now are Savion Hyder, Tristan Keys, Darius Gray. There will be more along the way. Hyder announces tomorrow. I think I saw it's at like 11:15. Darius Gray is later in the week. Now, where do I think things go on it? I mean, it certainly seems Michigan is what the consensus are thinking tomorrow, but I normally pay attention to Austin Price on it, and I don't have a 24/7 subscription anymore. Nothing. It's one or the other. You got to pay for them. So, but Austin Price is normally pretty dialed in, and he's not. He just said his confidence is not where it was. He's not come out. I mean, he said that the consensus seems to be Michigan on it, but I don't have quote for quote what he said on here, but he's not just come out and said it's Michigan, but he's saying reading the tea leaves, I think it was, that it could be. Supposedly Hyder says he's done with the recruiting once he announces. So, what's it going to look? Where's Tennessee shift if Hyder does not announce tomorrow? It seems like they were all in on him, but you look at running back next year. If nobody leaves, you'll have 4 guys coming back with Bishop, Peyton Lewis, DeJuan Morris, Justin Baker. Does Tennessee just go to the portal and add a 5th running back, or could there be somebody else in this class they circle back to, or another guy they find that they go in on? I mean, if you think about it, last year they didn't flip DeJuan Morris till late. So could they get in on somebody as well and get them flipped back? But based on what I'm reading, I'm thinking Hyder to Michigan. But I know, too, when Braden Rouse was announcing, there's numerous people thought it was Texas, and the relationship went out. But the difference is Michigan has kind of been up there the whole time for Hyder. Texas had kind of come in a little later on Rouse. Did a good job recruiting him, evidently gave him something to think about. It's kind of similar. Tennessee's been on this one from the get-go. I know Steve Wilfong of On Three Rivals, I guess it is now. He says he thinks he would say his pick is Michigan, but he says it's close. And I think one of the things I saw today is he said that both staffs have been in contact with Hyder, and both have, I guess, heard enough to feel confident tomorrow. And they said that maybe neither staff actually knows what he's going to do. So we'll find out in the morning. Again, I think it's 11:15 that I saw he's announcing. It'd be a big one. It'd be a big one for Tennessee. Darius Gray, I don't think that one's happening. Looks like that's going to be South Carolina or LSU. There was an article that come out that said Tennessee was recruiting Gray the hardest. This was like 3 weeks ago, maybe. But then it says, I guess South Carolina's been on that one pretty hard. But where I would watch on that one in turn, all right, Darius Gray goes to South Carolina. It said Tennessee's not going to stop recruiting Kamari Blair. And I saw Austin Price, VolQuest, he mentioned that he feels like, based on what he's seen, that Blair wants to be a Vol. So we'll see. If he wants to be a Vol, I don't know why he wasn't already, but it is what it is on it. And then Tristan Keys, Price continues to say that feels pretty confident on that one. Feels pretty confident. But that's how I've read it, okay? That they think there's a lot of confidence that Tennessee can flip Tristan Keys. And the Adidas deal, I think Kyle Beach mentioned it here as well. The thing with it is, with the Adidas deal, here's something to watch, though, that I'm curious about. And I kind of hope it, because Keys is signed with Adidas. Miami is in Adidas, Texas A&M Adidas, Tennessee Adidas, LSU's Nike. But I have read where apparently LSU's apparel deal is coming up too. Nike is not they've done some restructuring of their management based on what I've read, and they're not as all in on the college game now as they once were, and they're shifting more toward pro. So with that happening, could LSU come up and switch to Adidas? I think that's something that bears watching. If LSU's apparel deal is indeed up, which apparently them and Penn State, is that Penn State's irrelevant in this recruitment. But with Adidas making Tennessee the flagship program, and what's LSU going to want to jump over, and would Adidas meet them in it as well? LSU's probably to jump going to want what Tennessee got, or close to it as well. So I think that one bears watching, and what happens with LSU's apparel deal. And I don't know, I've not seen any rumors on what they might do. I know they're like Tennessee, they're with Nike right now. But, I mean, if Adidas is Nike is shifting away to more of the pro game than the college, what happens there? I think that would be interesting to watch. I figured you were a Beamer guy. I know you love Frank Beamer, Blunt Vegas. I figured you was a Shane Beamer guy. He is an odd guy. I'll be honest, he's turned out to be a better coach than I thought he was. I thought he was too quirky for a bit, but he's doing a pretty good job at South Carolina, got to say. But I think South Carolina's overrated this year because of their schedule. I think they got a good team, but their schedule is pretty rough this year as well. So I don't know, man. I'm trying. What's Michigan's backfield look like right now? I've seen. Of course, I know they got Underwood, who's probably recruiting him heavy. Faison Brandon, I got to imagine. I've not really heard much about Faison Brandon and Hyder, what that relationship is. I have heard it with Faison Brandon and Tristan Keys, though. So Michigan's running back room would be something to watch there. And the thing of it is, with Tennessee's running back room, it's deep. It's deep right now. And if he wants to be, if he wants that promise of running back one, I don't see Tennessee making him that promise. I think it'll be like anything else. You recruit him to come in. And whether that means he does or not remains to be seen. It'd be a big win for Tennessee if they could get him tomorrow. But, let's see if there's any more intel that's come out tonight on him. Normally, some of these get kept pretty close. But sometimes you start getting some things come out the night before on it. But I mean, the Rouse recruitment, that Braden Rouse recruitment was kind of an old school recruitment. You didn't know what was going to happen until it was announced. And I think the crystal ball features are pretty interesting, but at the same time, sometimes it takes, the mystique or the intrigue out of the announcement. And I don't know, the Braden Rouse one was the first time I'd gotten nervous in an announcement in a long time, probably since like David Sanders last year. Well, I say a long time, it's not been too long, but still yet. The thing of it is, if he does commit, man, I can't record until tomorrow afternoon since I'm back in the work world again. But, I seen somebody because really seems like Tennessee's recruiting board is about done, and it's maybe just keeping what you got. I'm trying to look here. I mean, the main guys I see would be flips at that point, like Kamari Blair, the tight end Watkins that's committed to Kentucky, a couple defensive linemen, Tristan Givens and Harris, Auburn. I think that it's more or less flip guys at that point. There's somebody mentioned here of Andrew Rogers, who's a teammate of Faison Brandon, reclassified, said Tennessee had some interest there. He's an edge. So That would be pretty good as well. Justice Hayes and Jordan Marshall. Okay. All right. I'm not sure. I mean, with Michigan and Tennessee, both you're coming into competition. I don't know about Michigan. I can't answer for Michigan. I don't see, and some of you put it in the comments, I don't see Heupel nor Darrell Sims telling him he's running back one when he comes in. He'll have to come in and earn it, especially with that room as deep as it is now. Because if they tell him that, there's going to be guys hit the road. And they've got a deep running back room right now as well. But, let's hope, man. Gosh, if they get Hyder and Keys, just put a bow on it. Just put a bow on it, man. Call it a day and recruit your guys and get them in. So 2 weeks. We're less than 2 weeks till kickoff. I'm ready for it. I'm pretty fired up for this team. Pretty fired up to see where things go this year as well. And, my main thing is I'm still saying we're coming out of the gates and smoking Syracuse. I'm sticking to it. I have full confidence. I'm not saying they'll put 50 or 60 up, but I think the offense will be good, and I think the defense is going to be hard to handle this year as well. We're about 58 minutes in. I really appreciate you guys tonight, and we'll go from there. But you guys have a great rest of your Monday. Let's get off and call this thing a night. I'm trying to think. I had a closing thought. I guess all eyes are on Hyder tomorrow. I'm pretty sure I saw it's 11:15 that he goes tomorrow. So all eyes will be on that one tomorrow. But you guys take it easy. Have a good rest of your night. This is Frank, House of Orange. Hit the like, hit that share. If you have not, hit that subscribe button as well. Y'all take care, and I'll see you when I see you.